LaTonya, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
Now, the invitation, she came all the way down from Nashville,
Yes.
Tennessee.
Yes.
I'm starstruck. I was just saying, just having people come, just want to come all the way to Jersey,
Yes.
it makes me feel really good. So I do appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate the awesome work that you are doing
Oh,
just to make people aware of what autism is and how mothers are working with that.
so important.
Yes.
Now look at the outfit. Absolutely amazing.
Thank
You think I'm a
you.
celebrity, right? Like she's coming to Oprah's show and stuff. And Joseph's here too,
Yes,
which
he
is
is.
oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's so
Thank you.
cute.
Thank you.
Now, talk to our audience about your journey, because you've come a long way with Joseph.
Yes, yes. Well, our journey started when he was, I would say, about 18 months. He was trying to make sentences and phrases and put it together. Every morning he would tell me, "Have a nice day." And one morning it turned into gibberish. I couldn't understand
Mm.
anything that he was talking about. And me working in the school system, I went immediately to his doctor, like, "I need you to look at this and tell me what's going
Oh
on."
wow.
And she suggested that we start getting him tested. And so he was diagnosed around the age of 2, and we immediately started early intervention services at the house. They would come and do speech and OT
Okay.
with him at the house.
Now, do you think if you weren't in the education field before that, that you would have immediately just said, "Ooh, got to do something about this"?
I don't think so
Yeah.
because my family that was around me sort of looked at it like it was a phase that he was going through with the
Mm.
no eye contact, and his speech had regressed, not even with what you could make out, but him coming out talking as much.
Mm-hmm.
So they just figured it was a phase that he was going through. So I don't think I would have went into action with it as quickly.
Now, did you think it was autism?
I had heard the word autism,
Okay.
but that's it. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew something was quite different from the kids I worked around at school for
Oh,
his milestones.
okay. What age were you working with at the time?
At that time, I had big kids, but I had been in the system for a while. So something was different.
Mm-hmm. So you get the diagnosis
Yes.
autism. What are you thinking? Because you said autism. This was new to
Right.
you.
It was more for me a relief
Okay.
because at least now I have a title with it
Mm-hmm.
and I can research and see what we need to do. Whereas before, I couldn't figure out what was going on with them.
Yeah.
So start asking coworkers, like, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? So started learning about resources that they had out
Mm-hmm.
there that I wasn't aware of before I asked the question. Yeah.
Yeah. That's and being able to find people, who understood autism, was that difficult? It-
At that time, yes, because when Joseph was diagnosed, I think the numbers were like 1 in 150,
yeah.
whereas now it's like 1 in 31.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, it wasn't as, you didn't see it as much in the school system. Um, and at that time, they were trying to link it with vaccinations.
Yeah.
And so I just heard the word autism and it was stuck in my brain. So when he was diagnosed, I said, okay, let me find out more about it.
Now, did you go into like research mode? Like, let me see as much as I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, let me see
Absolutely.
what this is.
Yes, yes. And debunk some myths. So when I started, it was referred to as the refrigerator
Oh,
mother
I feel like
method. Yeah,
yeah.
where mothers would kind of code to their children, and what you saw was the result. And I'm like, that is not it. But yeah, but I went into researching some things and really focused on whatever the doctor said he wasn't going to be able to do. That's what we
Mm,
started working on first.
okay. And were there some challenges along the way?
Challenges between now and he's 17 now. So
17.
17,
I looked right into the camera.
he will be a senior next year.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
amazing.
excited. But a lot of challenges throughout this time has come from people assuming what he can't do. instead of looking at what he can and building off of that.
So talk to me about things that people have just automatically thought, like, he couldn't do.
Because he's quiet. He doesn't. I just at the airport on our way here, he initiated conversation with two of the workers there, and I was like, oh my goodness! But that
Because
is
he's in
so.
Jersey.
That is so abnormal for him. I usually have to prompt, ask
Okay.
questions, and he'll give me a
Oh,
response.
that's huge.
So people assume since he's quiet, first of all, that they can talk over him, like he'll be sitting right there. I'm like, he can hear you, he can answer, he can understand. The output just may not be what you're expecting,
Right.
but he understands what's going on.
I know I struggled with that with my first son, talking like he's not in the room.
Yes.
Oh, he's, what are we going to do about him? And until someone's just like, he has great receptive language. He understands everything you're saying. And I had to learn how to, he's a person.
Right.
Like
Right.
he, if I had my other child who, was utilizing words and speaking and stuff like that, I wouldn't just like say, like, act like they're not in the room. So it was a process for myself to be able to shift from, this, my son being in the room, and my son is in the room and he's a person and we're gonna just engage in all this, like, conversation. But that is a huge thing that I think a lot of people misconceptions that
Yes.
because a person may not have all the language or whatever the case may be, that they just don't understand.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And he likes to interject himself into conversations when he hears me talking, but sometimes it may not be appropriate content, but I can tell he's like, I want to be a part of this, like include me in this. And I ask, do you have something to say? And then he'll say whatever it is, but he wants to be a part of the conversation.
Part of the emotional journey, because you said initially you felt like, okay, thank goodness there's a name to this. Now I can take the steps necessary to do what needs to be done.
Yes.
Was there ever times where you got frustrated, maybe even with the system, or anxiety?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Frustration. Before he started school, my frustration came basically from me comparing him to other children. And if he was not on the level that they were on, I would just have these emotional breakdowns. I said, you don't know until you put your back against the wall and slid down the wall crying. That's how I knew, like, Tanya, you're doing too much. So I had to stop comparing him to other children and just look at his personal growth. And then just advocating for him in school, that's been a challenge as well. Because I push him to frustration mode. Like, if he's not hurt, he's not bleeding, we can keep going. He's good on it. So I try and push him, and I get more speech when he's at frustration mode.
I believe it. I believe it. My son, he is non-speaking, but but with the things that he's able to do, typically he doesn't show everything he's able to do unless he's under duress, and then it's just like, okay, fine, I can open this water bottle.
Yes.
All right, you're on to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that and being an educator too, do you find, like, when you would go into these IEP meetings,
You know, right?
Right? Like, here comes LaTonya. What was that experience like?
At the beginning, I pulled back, and this was in my head. I had to get out of my head. I pulled back because I felt like if I pushed too hard, he may get mistreated, and he couldn't come home and tell me.
Okay.
So I kind of pulled back where I probably should have pushed, where I don't know what light bulb came on when he hit around 7th grade. I'm just like, no, I got to advocate for you, baby. So I don't care. Whatever it is, it is. And we're going in, and whatever you need, you're going to have to get what you need.
Do you think there was, like, some fear on that, because you're an educator?
Yes.
Do you think they were extra, like, ooh, we got to make sure this IEP doesn't have the wrong person's name in it or the wrong goals? Or
Actually, no. And I thought that would be the case. It wasn't until I started taking an advocate with me, because I'll shut down. Like, if in the meetings where you get the assessments back and it's
Mm-hmm.
like below average, below, I'll just shut down and
Yeah.
I don't hear anything else. So I had to start taking an advocate with me to make sure I was getting all the information. And when you walk in and say, oh, this is my advocate, it changes the whole room.
Mm-hmm. The tone changes,
Yes.
like, especially if you say this is going to be we're recording. It's just like, okay, well, the school's like, we're recording too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So getting an advocate was very game changing for you,
Yes.
just to have that additional support.
Yes.
Okay. And what else? What other support did you have? Did you have family, friends?
Family, friends. He has a village. In elementary school, it was a lot of them. So his pre-K teacher called them the entourage, and
Oh.
they show up for everything. So we just started building our
Mm-hmm.
village. Anybody that would support. Even now, he has an exhibition at his school this week. I made flyers and sent them out. So whoever wants to come on to
Oh,
the
that's
school
so
to exhibition.
beautiful. That's so
Yes. So
beautiful.
because I'm in the mind frame, I'm not going to be here always. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to have somebody else you can lean on. So
Yeah.
we're trying to build that as we go.
Community. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when you got the diagnosis and really not knowing anyone who had a child with autism or had autism, do you find now that the rates have changed? Have you reached out to other moms or been in touch with, like, what is that like for you?
Yes, I've reached out to other moms. We started a nonprofit during COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
while we were shut down, I'm like, okay, y'all, let's run with it. And our first virtual learning
Mm-hmm.
series, we had, I think, about 8 moms to give their journey of where they started and where they are now, including 2 that were on our live from Africa. So they were
Wow.
able to give their perspective and how things are different where they are versus here in the
Wow, that's
United States.
incredible.
Hmm.
That's incredible. And shifting into developing a nonprofit during COVID,
Yes.
what made you decide, like, hey, I want to do something more?
I felt like we were on a journey where we had a lot of unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the information that we received, I wanted to pass it to the next person that was coming up. So we're more of a resource when parents get the diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
and want to know, now what do I do? We try and provide the answers,
That's,
which may be another service or
mm-hmm.
another company, but at least you'll be able to find the answer you're looking for.
Yeah. And I know we had the Moms Who Hustle Summit,
Yes.
and, just encouraging moms to own their own, become entrepreneurs, take that leap, you know, push past that fear. Was there any fear in starting something new?
Um, No, it wasn't any fear. I have a total of 7 board members, and they all are long-term friends and family.
Okay.
And so it wasn't fear behind that. There was some hesitation in, if we present these, are people going to show up? So that was where our hesitation was, especially when that time came when people were going back out as we were coming
Mm-hmm.
out of quarantine. Do we want to stay on the virtual side or do we want to go back in person? So that was a hard decision to make. We didn't want to put families at risk of
Right.
anything. So a lot of decisions had to be made then. But we've had great reception to the information that we're offering
Mm-hmm.
until now the people that come or see other people out like, hey, weren't you at the thing? That
Oh,
So they're
nice.
making their own community as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about your nonprofit, the name of the
Yes.
nonprofit,
Hmm.
and because I'm sure, like, everybody out there is like, what, hello, like, what is it called, and how do
Yes.
we, take part in something like
Yes.
that?
So the title of our nonprofit is Happy colon Joseph's Journey. Happy is his favorite word, so that's why we
Oh.
just attached it to the front. And this is the journey that he's on. And so we do a combination of things. We offer the learning series. We also have a brunch that we recognize the supporters for the preceding year. And then we also do Bowling for Autism Awareness event
Ooh,
each
nice.
year.
Nice.
So The year before last, Joseph was in charge of everything. At his school, that was part of his internship. He was working on event planning, so he had to do it all, like
That's
book the venue,
incredible.
find your T-shirt vendor, send out invitations. He had to create the flyer. All of that
That's a lot of
was
work.
his responsibility. And so we are on Instagram at Joseph's Journey. So if anyone wants information, they can hop on there.
Now, what if they're not in Tennessee? Is there anything that's offered virtually?
Yes, our
Yeah.
virtual series. So we feed it through YouTube. So they can join our YouTube channel at Happy Joseph's Journey. And when we go live, they'll have that information.
Ooh, Happy Joseph's Journey.
Yes.
Love, love, love that. Now, let's take it a step back with self care because you got this, you got your son, he's doing his thing.
Yes.
This nonprofit, which is, it can be, daunting, I'm sure, at times and a lot of work, but also, I'm sure you find joy in that.
Yes.
Do you find time for you?
I recently have.
Okay.
Before, it was a lot of burnout because I am a school counselor. So that is a huge responsibility. And then with Joseph, we're together most of the time. So he rides, our public transportation has access bus for people with disabilities. So just like city bus, but they stop at your house. So he's with me. I put him on the bus and I'm right out behind him headed to work and his bus brings him to me. So it's not that downtime that other parents would get because as soon as my work day is over, he's already at my job. He gets there before I get out. So a lot of my self-care has come from trying to find him activities, even if it's 2 or 3 hours a day where he can go and participate while I go off and do something else.
And what's that something else?
I like traveling,
Yeah.
but that's my main thing. But my self-care may just be going to get a pedicure. So that's my time, like, to myself. I don't even want the headphones in, listening. I just want to sit, let the chair massage my back while my feet get done.
It's like, I
So
want just some quiet.
yes. So self-care for me, or it could be taking a drive. Sometimes self-care happens with both of us together, but it's just quiet time that we need.
Yeah.
So like his main thing is Chick-fil-A, so we'll probably leave here looking for a Chick-fil-A, and that'll be our downtime.
Oh, we got him. We got, and he was in the commercial,
Yes,
right?
yes, he was.
Talk to me about that. Like,
Well, Joseph loves Chick-fil-A, so every every day he's telling me now he loves it. So every day except Sunday because they're closed, he has Chick-fil-A. And someone reached out to us. I posted pictures of a birthday party we did for him with the Chick-fil-A cake and all the Chick-fil-A food. And she asked me, can you write your story and send us pictures? And then later on, we applied on the website under their little stories.
Okay.
And then they gave us a call, and we went through this process to come and record the commercial.
wow, so that sounds like it was exciting.
It was
And
exciting.
Joseph, I'm sure, was excited.
Yes. I didn't tell him until the week we were headed down there.
That's
Yes.
great. Now, I can understand why Joseph loves Chick-fil-A. I mean, that drive-through be like crazy. Like,
Yes, yes.
That is, and I love how just teaching him to be independent,
Yes.
create, being a part of this organization and all the things that go into the things you provide for the community and people virtually. It's just amazing because I think that's something that transition of now becoming an adult and the things
Yes.
that go with that. How are you feeling about him being like an adult?
I'm not as nervous because anytime he has a transition meeting or they're asking him about transition plans, do you know what you want to do? No, but I'll be with my mommy. So like I don't know how that's going, but am I happy or am I like, no, you need to move out on your own. But so right now I'm not nervous about it. We have looked into Vanderbilt offers Next Steps program, college program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
wow.
So he's had the opportunity to go on their campus and speak to the grad students that are learning to be special ed teachers. His pre-K teacher is now the professor over there at that program.
That's huge.
So she invites him every semester to come and speak to the class.
He's a
So-
celebrity, you know. Y'all flew first class. Y'all had to y'all got here first class some way,
Oh my
somehow.
gosh.
Wow, that is awesome. And you can tell that you're so proud of him,
I
that you
am.
love him.
I
and-
am. He's come a long way.
Yeah.
A long way.
Yeah. Now, do you have any additional aspirations? Because I know you're doing a lot, right? You're
Yes.
a school counselor. You know, that takes a lot of space.
Yes.
And being a mom and, being just everything that you do. Is there any other things that you want to do for?
Well, recently I started working as a personal assistant for a hip hop artist.
Okay.
Little Timmy, he's out in Nashville. And
Let's
so,
look in. We got to look right in there.
yes,
Little Timmy.
Yes, at LIL_TIMME. And so I have really enjoyed the work and learning just how things operate in that music world.
Yeah.
So that has been big. He's going on a lot of tours this summer. And so I'm just enjoying the process right now.
Now, how was this always a passion of yours? How did
Music has been.
Yeah.
Music has been. The personal assistant thing was brought to me by him. And I've just been learning the ropes as I'm doing it.
Okay.
And so I've really enjoyed the work that I've been doing.
So I'm actually most likely sitting with a celebrity right now.
I hope so.
You
I
know,
hope that's
we're
what
manifesting
it's-
that. Like,
Thank
this
you
is-
so much.
This is the beginning, and I
Yes.
was there for it.
Yes. You said it first.
Yes, I said it first. But that's incredible. And just what you're modeling for your son.
Yes.
That, mom can do so many things.
Yes.
And mom goes after the things that she dreams of.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Always with him in mind,
Yeah.
because I appreciate this has more flexibility in the scheduling. And once he comes out of school next year, that's where I want to be, where I'll be able to maneuver around whatever he has going on as well.
Now, you're doing so that's already in the process.
Yes.
So how do you balance all these roles?
I have people that really look out for me. Even
Okay.
the artist Lil Timmy, he's like, no, I need you to take 3 days off. Like, he'll see it on me. And it's like, no, I need you to take 3 days off. Or he'll say, isn't this, like in April, isn't this Autism Awareness Month? Do you need this month off? Like, they prioritize what's important to me. And I'm like, no, I need this to keep me going. This drives me as well.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate having people around me that see what's important to me as well.
So that support other people.
Yes.
Which is a challenge, I think, I don't know if there was like a mom out there who was struggling with, having this like a dream of, I would love to be a personal assistant for someone who's up and coming, but I have like all these other responsibilities.
Yes.
And I don't have support. How would you tell a mom to navigate that?
Find your support and
Yeah.
build your village.
We can, roll with it.
Okay.
So everybody's like,
I'm sorry.
Joseph is jamming, okay? And we're just going to let it roll.
Okay, thank you. I would tell them to build their village. That's what I had to do. And I do not associate myself with people that just don't get it. If I
Ooh,
walk
I like
into a
that.
space and they're like, oh, you brought Joseph with you, then that'll probably be my last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they tell me things like, if friends have birthday parties, this is an adults only event. Let me know ahead of time. Like, don't let me get there and then it's like, oh, it's not supposed to be kids here. Even though he's
Yeah.
17, let me know ahead of time, because more than likely he's in tow with me. So, yeah.
And it's an uncomfortable feeling, right? Like
Yes.
just to get somewhere and then it's just like, ugh,
Right,
kind of thing.
right.
Wow, incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank
And I'm just so in awe of you of just wanting to come to Jersey. Never been to
Yes.
Jersey. I just assumed that she had been to Jersey before.
No,
But
I have not.
just like taking the leap and
Yes.
wow, that is so
Exposing
incredible.
him to different things.
That's
So
incredible.
the train, that was a new experience for us, and having to navigate how to get here. So even at the ticket counter, he wanted to be on the iPad. I need you paying attention
That's huge.
because I want you to be able to do this.
Yeah. So also like a teachable moment.
Yes.
Wow. He's got a great mom.
Thank you.
He's got a great
Thank
mom.
you.
So I know you gave a little advice about the whole finding your people, your support network,
Yes.
and to help you through the process, and also making sure that you have like the people that accept what you got going and accepting your child.
Yes.
Now, what would you tell a new mom out there that's just gotten the diagnosis that has no idea of where to start, what to do, has seen maybe people just one side of the spectrum of autism, that they're concerned that, oh my gosh, like what if my child never is able to X, Y, and Z? What would you tell that mom?
I would tell that mom, first of all, to change your mentality. Don't even start with the my child may never, because that's how the doctors approached us. Yeah. Oh, you're never going to hear him say I love you. You're never going to hear him say mommy. So let's start. Let me hear you say mommy. Those are the things that we worked on first, because nobody can predict where your child is going to be.
Right.
Even with my students at school that may be labeled as nonverbal, if there's a sound, then I want to know is probably eventually going to become words if we can just tune in. And then find what their gifts are. Stop looking at what they're not able to do. What can they do? And build on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The mindset shift.
Yes,
Because we know
you
that
have to.
the thoughts and what you think will affect how you feel, and it will affect how you behave.
Yes.
And if you can get to a place where it's, okay, this is not going to be the gloom and doom show. We're going to look to see what my child is gifted with and enhance those things that the child may struggle with.
Right.
And I also think there's like a place of like acceptance, because there's certain things that the child may not be able to master.
Yes.
Right. And so sometimes looking at it is it really a big deal? And I always talk about like my son tying his shoes and stuff like that. I used to be like,
Yes.
he can't tie his shoes. Like, this is the end of the world. Somebody.
Yes.
Kids don't even learn how to tie the shoes
No,
anymore. That's not
no,
even a thing.
no.
So he could just throw on a Velcro and why?
Right.
But what is a big deal may not really be a big deal, right?
And those are the things, like, I was the same way with tying shoes. He can get all the way past to the last step and some way gets tangled up. I don't worry about it anymore. We find the shoes that have the stringy bungee cord laces, or even like the writing in cursive. Well, now we use technology. So I try not to just hone in on the things that other people's children are able to do, and see, okay, how can we tune this to where you'll be able to use this as you go through life.
And, I know you had said earlier about the comparison. How did you, because that's a challenge to stop comparing.
Yes.
Throughout the whole course, not just like when you first get the diagnosis, but as kids are growing up, and if you're seeing, you have another family member who has a child the same age.
Yes.
How did you kind of slow that down and stop doing that?
It was difficult for me because in our household, when he was around 2, it was him and I had a grandson, and they were a month apart.
Okay.
So I was seeing like where he was projected to be and where he was. I could read to my grandson. Joseph didn't want to hear anything out of a book, so I had to figure out how to make things work there. But I stopped comparing because I didn't want to stress myself out, and that's what I was doing by comparing. And it took a lot off of me when I just focused on his growth. And that was a milestone, but I wasn't noticing them because I was comparing him to other people.
And that happens a lot. But like you said, you do come to a place where it's just, what is the best that he can do?
Right.
Like, how can we get him to that level as opposed to somebody else's level? And just being grateful, that gratitude for the things that he is able to do.
Yes, absolutely,
Right?
because he has his own gifts. About 2 years ago, he'll script it. I didn't notice, but he'll script like movies, TV shows. If you pay attention to what he's saying, he's giving you the whole script from the show. And even now, I can say any cartoon movie to him, and he can give me back the date that it came out, the year that it came out. So he has his own talents and gifts
Right.
that I don't know any other kid that can do that.
Right.
But that's not things that we look for. That's not things that we test in schools. But he is able to provide that information. So like multiplication tables, and you mentioned IEP process before. And I know teachers read the IEP, and then sometimes I appreciate when they don't, and they just go in, let me see what you can do, because that stretches him further than he could be. So I went in one classroom, they were learning multiplication tables, and they had an ice cream cone, and each scoop was the factors that they learned.
Oh.
They put his cone on the wall. It didn't have any scoops. So when I went to the school, I'm like, why is his cone on the wall and no scoops? Oh, well, he's not working on multiplication because his IEP says basic addition and subtraction. Then why did you even put the scoop on the wall?
Yeah.
That was number one. And I said, test him tomorrow. She said, what? I said, test him tomorrow. And he did 1 through 6. But because you were going based on just what the IEP said, I just feel like try it. Right. If you can see, okay, maybe he doesn't have that yet, scale back, but at least try it and see if he knows the information.
And the IEP is just very, it locks you in, right?
Yes.
Like it's just like, this person will do, 5 out of 7 trials and right?
Yes,
but
at 80%.
80%, right? And it, for the last 3 years, we've been trying to get to 80%,
Yes.
right? Like we need to switch this goal up.
Exactly. That's it.
Right?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
But so thank you for being on the show. There's so many takeaways and nuggets, and I definitely want to have you come back.
Thank you.
Or maybe I need to get down to Nashville.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be so cool, a tape. But there's just from the advocacy, having someone with you to support you in that process, especially during those IEP meetings, and also too, sometimes we need that support when we're navigating doctor visits and X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Changing your mindset. Going from a mindset of, okay, what can my child do, as opposed to, my child can't do this or will never be able to. Because sometimes once we get in that mindset of, oh, my child's not going to be able to do that, we don't push our child.
Right.
We kind of fall into that. Because I've been pleasantly surprised when I go to meetings, they're like, oh, yeah, Max can do this. I'm like, what? Can you videotape that? Because he don't show me that.
Right.
So they're like, well, at home they don't always show. Well, he needs to start showing me.
Yes.
But and also, you are modeling, just the independence and that you can do and be anything that you want to be.
Yes.
Which is I think it's just absolutely incredible. You can still go for the things that you want to do, just finding a network of people that will help support you in that. And it doesn't always have to be family, right?
Right.
Like it can be, friends or sometimes even like teachers and stuff end up being, right?
Yes. And sometimes I found out with his teachers, the teachers that have never had an experience with a child like Joseph are the most beneficial. So right now he's at a high school. It's a public school, but it's non-traditional. So they go for academics Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
And they go to internships on Tuesday and Thursday. But what they're doing, like I said, he needs help learning how to count money. So they work with him. If he makes his goal, he gets money to go to the vending machine at school and get out whichever snack he wants out of the vending machine.
That's incredible.
So they're giving him that real life experience
Yes.
because they're also trying to figure it out, how to work with him.
Yes.
So I just appreciate the effort they've been putting in with him.
That's incredible. Shout out to them.
Yes. And it's a network. So Big Picture, I thought our school was the only one named Big Picture, but it's a network called Big Picture Schools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph's journey is just beginning.
Yes.
And there's just going to be so much more. Oh, I could see him like lecturing, like in a big hall and I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. I just see it just go with a suit and just going around to different countries and just like, listen, let me tell you about autism.
Yes.
So kudos to you. Beautiful, beautiful what you're doing.
Thank
you. Joseph, he's rocking out and I'm loving it. He's got his that we're keeping that in here. Yeah. We're not editing that piece out.
I want to say,
no, love it. So, but On that note, again, thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show,
you
coming
so
all
much
the
for
way
having
here
us.
from
Thank
Nashville,
you.
Tennessee. I
Yes.
appreciate you and
Thank you.
Joseph.
Thank you.
We definitely need to do this again.
Yes.
And to, those badass moms out there, caregivers, providers, our special friends, just remember, just having a positive mindset can go so far
Yes.
that your child is more than capable of, being the best that they can be if we just nurture that. And coming from a time where the numbers were so low, and just being able to try to navigate that, and navigating it obviously with grace.
Thank you.
There's so much more out there. It's more accessible to get information, and then there's like veterans, like us older people, who can help guide you through this path. And it's okay to feel what you feel, whether it is relief, whether it's grief, whether it's shame, whether it's anxiety, whether it's a whole multitude of everything packed into one. It is okay to feel what you feel, but just make sure you try to find somebody who can just be able to validate your feelings and support you. And that's why we have the podcast here, so you can hear other moms from all over who can appreciate you and share in your story. So on that note, as we always say, stay fierce, stay determined, and stay courageous, like Miss LaTonya
Thank
and
you.
Joseph. And look, gorgeous.
Thank you.
And we'll
Thank
see you next Tuesday. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.